naked shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know, folks, if you can hear me. As the intro is going on and over there on Blog Talk Radio. Well, Blog Talk had a little bit of a difficulty, so I apologize to all of you who were patiently waiting. And those of you who had to go to bed, I totally understand. It's no problem. Well, we're cruising right along 2018, and this January seems awfully long for me. It just seems like like it's been forever. It's like a Groundhog Day type of month. I don't know if you guys feel that way. Do you guys feel that way sometimes? Like it just seems like it lingers on and just doesn't kind of end. January just seems like the longest one, especially when it's like so cold. Especially those of you who live here in the Midwest and up these border towns of Canada and wind coming in. So I want to say hi to Connie, Misty, and to Andrew and Juanita, everybody who's joined in here. And I know people pop in and in just checking it out. And that's okay. This is it's going to be recorded, so you can go back to it later. And Abby, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. I've been busy, guys. I did a show in the early part of January. Haven't been able to do one until just recently because it's just been crazy around here. But anyways, I'm just trying to get back on track and get back in the flow with things. I got my tea ready here with my octopus cup mug. Tastes good. And that's called Positive Energy. It's made by the Yogi Teas, and they always have these little quotes. So I'm going to read this little quote to you. May this day be the day to lead us to peace, to happiness, and to joy. That's what's on this little tea quote, Yogi Teas. And I'm not sure if any of you guys drink the Yogi Teas, and I'm not trying to promote Yogi Teas. I just thought I'd just share that because every day I try to at least, make a little picture of my mug and share that with somebody, because it might just spark somebody to do something. It might just inspire somebody to say, hey, today's a good day. And I'm glad my friend Iggy shared that with me because I kind of needed that. I know sometimes I get those little things that pop in from time to time. Someone will say something or whatever and want to share their little tidbits, their little nuggets. And I like that. And I really appreciate that. And I enjoy that. And, it was always good to spread the wealth of love and peace and joy and harmony, because we all have it. We all have that opportunity to share that. So, a little reporting on me. I'm doing a lot better. My health was not too good. I wasn't feeling well. I had this chronic cough. I actually took some of my own advice that I, work with other people about self-healing. And all of a sudden, I feel much better. I'm doing better. I'm going through a transitional period right now in my life. There's some things happening on the personal level, so I'm not going to get too much into that. Some of you know me, and some of you are aware of things that are going on in my personal life. But I'm still got to look at things positive. I've got to look forward to things. And I know it can be hard and difficult. We're all humans, and we're all trying to do our best on this plane of existence in this moment in time. And it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be simple, and it's not always going to be the way we want it. But I'd like to take a moment just to kind of reflect on the last, maybe 3 weeks or so, since we're going into the last week of January, and just kind of reflect back on that and just take a moment to think about, if you've moved in a direction that seems like it's the right place you want to go and the right way you want to be. I know for some of us it's not always easy to navigate the waters of life, and for others it seems easier. But it's not that it's easy. It's just we've learned to, we have totally been accustomed to doing things a certain way. I'm choosing to do things a lot different this year than I have in a long time, because I feel that I need that, number one. and that'll put me in the right direction where I want to go personally. And I'm hopefully you are. And I see Juanita, as you says me too. I totally understand. I get that. And for all of you who who are going through stuff, just here to tell you, it'll work out. Maybe not according to the time that you want it. Don't be pressured and don't feel bad and don't feel like if you're not getting there, you'll get there. I want to say hi to Karen. I want to say hi to Mark, to all of my friends who pop in and out. And I really appreciate you guys. I really enjoy doing these podcasts and sharing some things with you. I like to talk about the holistic, the metaphysical, and the alternative ways of self-healing. And a lot of us who are here, who are actually listening to the show, you all come from a different backgrounds. You all come from a place where you help people, and within that process of helping somebody else, you help yourself, which is good. And that's what we want to do, to empower and to bring some people into the place and to step forward into their own power in order for them to able to, think about what they need, not necessarily somebody's advice. And not advice is great, and I'm not knocking it. But, at some point you have to make the final decision if that's going to work for you. So I kudos to all those of you who are working hard to do what you need to do. Proud of those who I know personally who are doing better, and I'm cheering those on who are working to do better. So anyhow, my goal is to heal individuals, heal the families, heal the communities, heal society, and heal the planet. And burping, I'm going. Gotta let it out, man. Just gotta let it go. Gotta go with the flow. And, here we are. Here we are today at 9 p.m. at night, Eastern time, in my office of temporariness. And, and I'm sharing with you guys about the things that happened in my life. And things are good. Things are getting better. But today, I wanted to just take a moment for us to relax, take a moment to just kind of gather our thoughts and just kind of see where we're at and feel what we need to feel today. Okay, so if you listen to something on the show, you don't agree with it, that's fine. And if you agree with it, cool. And if you've had enough of listening to me, that's fine too. This is by invitation. I invite you to listen, or invite you to come back and listen anytime. But let's take a quick deep breath. We exhale. Take another deep breath. One more. Feels pretty good. So the topic today that I wanted to talk about, in this hour, less than an hour that we have now, was about belief system, and how these belief systems come about, how we work them and how we get into them, and how people, I don't want to say make us do it, but let's examine that. Let's examine, beliefs. Hello, Connie. Good to see you. I'm going to say hi to everybody who pops in, okay? Jeremy, I see you. I didn't miss you there on purpose. I want to just say hi to everybody who's listening. If I missed you, I apologize. I'm just kind of like, kind of going with the energy, going with the flow. So, and I'm just ready to talk. Matt, how are you? Anyhow, I think that's going to be the theme today. I'm just going to say hi to everybody who pops in. Bloop, bloop. There you are. Bloop, 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 bloop. There you go. But examining belief systems. And belief systems are, man, you talk about beliefs, belief systems. Where do I start? Where do I begin? It could be a religious belief. It could just be a belief in certain things, a belief that, this particular amethyst, sphere has some kind of magical powers. And, whenever you touch it, you just get more energetic. You feel more energized. Some people believe that. So let's talk about that. Belief systems. Belief. It's my belief that things are this way. It's my belief that I'm going to see this way. It's my belief, so you can't really shame me because it's my belief. It's because I believe it. And so it doesn't matter if you believe it. It only matters if I believe it. If I believe it, that's enough. That's a form of belief system. Okay? Beliefs can change, yes. And I'm going to and this is interactive, so you guys can share with me, and then I'll talk with you as well. Yeah, and beliefs do change. They change every day, every second. We can change a belief. We can change a belief about something that we hear right now, or tomorrow, or later. But I'm talking about them maybe the major belief systems, like, for example, Christianity, Hinduism, all these different things that, that people are kind of attracted to. And I'm one of those people who kind of question things. And believe it or not, I do question a lot of the metaphysical things in our community. Those of you who truly, really know me and know the work that I do, I don't just take things firsthand. And sometimes when I don't understand something, I'll be the first person to ask, hey, I don't get it. My friend Mark Matheny, who's an astrologer who does things on With Insights Radio, he talks a different language, and I have to ask him, so what's that mean? And he explains to me. He's patient enough with me, and I appreciate that because, that's how I will learn. But if I act like I know it and then I really don't know it, then I really don't learn anything. I'm learning to be, coy and really kind of dumb if I don't ask questions. But Mark goes out of his way to explain to me, what a north node is, what a house is, and this planet in this sign, this one in this place. I don't always get it. I'm not an astrologer by any means. Okay, so, but I have a fancy for the stars, and I get it. But it's important. It's important to understand that we all speak a different language. We all talk differently. We all sometimes come from a place where we all believe in the same thing. But like, for example, the major religions in the world. Okay, and of course I'm projecting. Okay, so everybody has their belief, and everybody believes that that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is. And and I have no qualms if you believe that. But I always have that question. Is that belief, is it legit? Is it legitimate? Did this guy walk on water? Did this guy resurrect? Did this guy actually come out of his mother? He's born. He's just walking. Is those real? For some people, it's real. I'm not saying it's not real for me, and I'm not here by any means to discount or to put down anybody's belief system. So I want to make that very clear. I'm just talking in general about how beliefs, create, and control and manifest and put us in certain places and certain things and certain ideals and certain, they put us in compartments, and then we have to go that way. Beliefs are beautiful, especially religious beliefs. They're very beautiful. I mean, they could be a very magical thing, in every belief, there's a beautiful side, and then there's kind of a not so beautiful side. We've all seen that. We've all experienced it. We've all been part of it. And even though men and women try to do their very best in the world with the belief systems that they have and the belief systems they carry, we have to remember where they come from. They come from the people usually before us most of the time, unless we actually move into a space, into a place where we create our own belief system. Now, I'm kind of big, and I'm kind of a big promoter of combining a lot of belief systems into one, because there's a little piece and little piece over here that just seems to fit with this piece. I'm not full-blown doctrine one way. There's times that I was raised full-blown doctrine. I was raised Catholic, and I was raised to think of things this way, and this is how it was. And part of it was very beautiful, and there's very magical things about it, how they would interpret how, for example, Christ would talk, for example, and how they would, the saints and everything, all the beautiful things about that. But the amazing thing that I liked about Catholicism, one thing that sparked me about it as a kid is the saints. Okay. And I'm a practitioner of the healing arts through shamanism. For those of you who are not aware of my practice, I do, and I work through shamanism. I'm a facilitator through that. So I come from a background of very ancient belief systems, something that's very old, even before religion. These were medicine men, these were medicine women, these were people who actually were outsiders to their community, but they were really respected. And to be a medicine person in those, long ago was very powerful, and it was a calling, and it was something that you did. You didn't deny it. You did not, that when you were called to do the medicine work, you had to do it. That was your calling. You were born into that. Today we have more choices in that. But back to what I was talking about the Catholic ways. The reason I talk about the saints, I thought it was kind of interesting because there are many, to be canonized saint, you have to have 3 miracles. And I find that we all have miracles within us. So the saints aren't the only ones. It's not exclusive to the saints. they who are canonized, and the ones who are not canonized, because there are a lot of them who are not. But what I find is they all had a miracle, and the miracle could have been anything. But I'm going to take, for example, I'm going to talk about one saint here from my country, from Peru, San Martin de Porres. San Martin de Porres was actually a black man. He was a black saint. He wasn't a saint at first, but he was a priest, and he was from Peru. He lived there. One of his miracles was that he brought a mouse, a cat, and a dog to eat. Came to eat and at a bowl, and they all shared. Okay. His other gift was that he could lay hands and heal people. Okay. So, and the other one was he was actually was in Africa. He actually helped people who were in Africa, when they were having their, problems and stuff. He would actually be in Africa. But here's the crazy thing. He never left Peru. He actually projected himself to Peru, from Peru to Africa, to the African countries and the nations. He would go there. But his biggest callings was that he could lay hands. And, during there was skirmishes and little wars and stuff between Peru and Chile and all these different countries. He would actually heal wounded soldiers. He would heal people. That was one of his major gifts. So here we go. You got a guy who can astral project. You have a guy who can actually lay a hand. So that's kind of a Reiki. Okay. And then you got a guy who can communicate with animals. So he's an animal communicator. So these are all the things that a lot of you do. A lot of you people who are friends of mine here on this show, or who are listening, or who will listen later, who are familiar with that kind of work. I'm familiar with that kind of work. I lay hands. I communicate with animals. I have been told that I've been places where I haven't been. So I have documented, things about that where I've been, and by no means am I canonizing myself as a saint, because I ain't no saint, okay? But the thing is, we all have this gift, and Christ also said, you will do greater things than I did. Okay, so, that's where belief systems come in. When we believe that we can do something, and we can create the magic within the palms of our hands and through the focus of our mind, and through the focus of our body, and through our spirit, and through our soul, we can do a lot of amazing things. But sometimes we don't believe it, and so that's where the belief system comes in. So, I wanted to share that with you. There are other saints, even during World War II, who have been, there have been projections during the war where they were going to attack certain cities and stuff, where the head of a priest was floating in the air, and it scared all the the allies away from that, in Italy. So there's report. If you do a little head hunting and you check it out and Google it a little bit, you'll find that there's been some pretty amazing magical things. And I believe that we can do a lot more when we clear our mind, and when we clear ourselves to the space where we're able to do it. Now, some of us have different gifts. Some of us have our special gifts. I think that even though, just like we are tall, short, wide, thin, fast, slower than others, I think our gifts come in the same way. Some of us have the ability to do certain things that others are not, or maybe we just don't have enough, kick to do that. For example, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'3". Okay. There's certain things I can't reach and grab. I just can't. I have to get a stool and stand on it. And, I'm vertically challenged. But I can jump, though. I can jump pretty high. But but the thing is that, it's how you use your gifts. So you can use your gifts by helping and say, hey, my friend, could you get that thing off the top shelf for me? Because I'm a little vertically challenged. And, they're going to say, oh, yeah, sure, short friend. I'll get that for you. So here you are, the gift of communication, the gift of gabbing, the gift of, making friends. It's all magical. And you're all magic. We're all magic. We all have that ability. We all have that in us if we truly want to. Now, the beliefs that we carry in ourselves, they obviously change. Yes, that was noted earlier by my friend Connie, that they do change. And that's good that they change. And you should be changing. You should always be examining and re-examining what you fall into, how you believe you are, and how you think you're moving to that space. Now, beliefs aren't just religious beliefs. They could be political beliefs. They could be anything. I mean, there's a religion, the Great Spaghetti Monster, I believe that's what it's called. a religion about spaghetti monster and the meatballs and the spaghetti. And it all is, if it's done properly through the IRS code, you could be legitimately be a religion. But either way, I wanted to share that. That was kind of funny. But yeah, beliefs are all over the place. Now, me personally, I believe that that there's reincarnation and a place where Christ came back and stuff. There's a part of me believes it, but there's another part that questions that too. That's the human side of me. I'm not sold on everything, okay? Because that's just the way I am. I don't have to. It's not that I have to see it to believe it. It's just sometimes you wonder. Sometimes you wonder. When you die, is it over? Is it done? Is that it? I mean, some of us have had that question. Have asked that. I would be surprised if no one in this group of friends who are here never ask that question. We all wonder sometimes what happens next. And I think I've told this story about, conception before, where you all were inside the womb of our mother and incubating there for 9 months. And, that was our existence for 9 months. We didn't know anything but where we were and how we were living, upside down, sideways, depending how you were, in a bag of fluid, being fed through a tube, kind of like a science fiction movie. If you think about it, it's kind of interesting. And, whatever your mom ate, you ate. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of neat, isn't it, to think about it? But in here, you're in this warm place. You're in this warm, pretty, amazing thing. And it kind of reminds me of The Matrix. Of those of you who watched The Matrix, remember when Keanu Reeves was in that tube or whatever, and there was like a whole rows of people inside these, a battery-like system, and they were all plugged in the back of the head. It's kind of that same way. And it's kind of like being in your mom too. So imagine all the things that you had taken in, genetically, nourishment and the sustenance and everything from her. When she was sad, were you sad? When she was happy, were you happy? So it's pretty powerful. That's why we have a deep connection, a lot of us, with our mom, and a lot of us have issues with moms too because of that deep connection. Because sometimes moms can be very attached to their children, which rightfully so, because that's the way it is. And men seem to be a little bit removed because, we're kind of the sperm donor. Well, here you go. Thanks a lot, but moms are important, and everybody has their role. And their role is, what it is and how we become. Now we're inside conception. Now we got enough track here. So we're inside our mom, and we're being, made of sorts, and we're growing and we're expanding. And then we reach a point where, we start to get uncomfortable. We start to feel, a little bit cramped. We start to like, okay, last week I was fine. All of a sudden, my foot's in my face. I don't know how that happened, but it's there and I can't move, and little by little, the gifts of nature move us, and puts us in the position where we get ready to be conceived. We're ready to be born. Okay. And so we're in that space. And, just like life, we're in that space. Some of us get into that space where we're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm having this guy. But, we're there. And that's the same way when you're about to be born. Now you're starting to be pushed down this deep canal, this hole. You're like, some of us get popped up through the C-section version of birth, which is just as fine, I'm sure. They always make it sound like it's not as fun. But it's not fun for the mom. But one of my kids were born C-section. He just got plopped up, it was like, ploop, and there he was. He was like, well, here I am. But you're going down the canal, and you're being squeezed into this place, and you can't see yet. You really can't see anything, and you're kind of like going, oh my God, what is going on? In your head, number one, you have that soft spot in your head. That's so your skull can collapse upon itself so you can get squeezed through. That's why our heads look so deformed, and we look like little aliens. We're like, our faces, because that's what happens. That's how we get down there. And then our shoulders get dislocated, and we're all going like this, going, oh my God, what is going on? And then mom's having contractions, and her body is working to like dispel you, like, I need you out like right now because you're like hurting me, okay? And and the epidural needs to be on right now in my back, okay? So, you're going you're going through that phase, you're going through that push, and then eventually you come out and you're still not quite, you're still not disconnected yet, and your belief is that everything's okay. Everything's fine. Oh, it's a little bit colder. I don't know what that is. But as soon as they cut you, I don't know what it is, at least from in my experience with my kids, as soon as that, that cord, like this cord, they went, Dad, would you like to cut the cord? I'm like, okay, sure. And, you cut it, and next thing you know, two things happen. They don't move. And then all of a sudden, the doctor, I don't know what he does, and they spank them on the butt. They do, because don't think they don't. And you hear this, and then all of a sudden you have your first experience of true, like physical contact pain, like someone smacked your ass. Like, you're like, oh, what the heck was that? You're like, and all of a sudden you start screaming, and then you start breathing, and you're like, all of a sudden you're going, what is that? What is going in my lungs? You take your first breath, and then you're going, and then everything's brand new, and everything's like, oh my God, all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, where am I? I can't see. I don't know, but I can smell everything. And then next thing you know, they put you on your mom. You feel that heartbeat. It's the heartbeat. It's mom's heartbeat. That's why you remember. You remember her heartbeat. And as soon as you hear that heartbeat, your heartbeat aligns with her. And those two heartbeats become one for that moment. And that's why it's so important when they put the baby on mom. And that's what we hear. And that's what comforts us. And plus for the warmth of her body. But now you're out of that existence. And that's what I'm talking about in belief systems. Okay. You're out of that existence. You cannot go back. I will bet anybody $100 you cannot go back inside your mom's womb. No, it does not work. Can't do it. You won't do it. I trust me on that one. Okay. And I tell you, but you come out of that belief system in that place where you thought you were okay and everything was fine for 9 months. Now, all of a sudden, you're not there. Can't go back. Now you have to start this whole new life. And that's how we're going to move into the next one, into the next life, into the next realm where we go. We're going to move into this thing that we don't even know how we got there. We're just going to know we're there. Okay, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay, because when you're inside your mom, you didn't see it. You didn't know there was a whole world outside of you. You had no clue. I don't care who you are. Don't tell me you think you knew. I know what's out there. Talking to other baby in the other womb. I know what's out there. It's a whole new world. Little baby's like, man, I just want to get fed and eat, okay? Anyhow, the baby's born. You're out. Can't go back. Kind of the same way. When we leave this existence, we move out. So I got a belief system for you. I got something for you guys to gnaw on and think about. And maybe some of you have an answer for me. And maybe some of you can kind of figure it out. What about reincarnation? I don't know. Some of you believe it. How many people believe in reincarnation? There's about 11 on you here. Someone say yes or no. And I kind of want to know, and I kind of want to see if you agree with me. Because I have a theory about reincarnation. And I want to throw it at you, and I want to see what you guys think. So let me see how many people believe in reincarnation. Raise your hands real quick. I'm popping, I'm looking, I'm watching. Okay. Okay, yes. I see one yes. Kind of. Okay. He just joined. I do. Okay. Okay. Now, do you believe in reincarnation because somebody told you about it? Or do you believe in reincarnation because you have this innate sense that it does exist? Because I'm going to propose something here, really interesting, okay? And it has a lot of ways it can spin, okay? Maybe some of you, okay? Okay, and I'm talking about multiple universes here, okay? So we're not talking about just this universe that we live in. So there's multiple universes, because there's multiple Cleopatras, okay? I hear a lot of people say, well, I was Cleopatra, and then the lady down the street goes, I'm Cleopatra. So, you have this game show goes, well, I'm Cleopatra, so will the real Cleopatra stand up? In a multiple universe, every one of you could be Cleopatra, okay? But here's what I want to propose, okay? And I want you to really think about this, because I found it really interesting when I asked this question, and no one really gave me a straight answer about it, okay? All right. It's 2,000 years ago, okay? You lived 2,000 years ago, okay? We'll just say during the time of Christ, okay? Just to kind of make things a little easier. Right? For some people believe that they've been there and they watched the crucifixion. Now, you were born, or actually, you were alive, not just born, and then you had a family. You had a whole bunch of kids, for example, and then you die. And you have a legacy of family, unless they all got wiped out in a war or by a famine or whatever. Okay, I'll throw that in right now. That way there's no question about it, because that could happen. Your whole line could be destroyed. So somewhere in the timeline of a history, the historical history that we have, okay, if you were reincarnated, your family line is still existing, meaning that wherever you started, like in the last life, that line is possibly still going on. Do you follow what I'm saying? Excuse me. Do you follow what I'm trying to say? So, say my last name was Smith, and I was there. I was a Roman soldier, and so all of a sudden, even though I'm living in 2018, okay, in the time of 2018 as a 51-year-old man, somewhere in the timeline of history, there's a whole line of my family who's existing still, not the Garcia side. Okay, I'm talking about the Smith side, the one that I was part of 2,000 years ago. Do you guys believe that to be true? Do you think that that could be a possibility, that somewhere through the historical records, through life, you could find yourself? Find a line. Figure it out. Because some of you are pretty clean and pretty clear on how you find your ancestors and stuff. When you go back far enough, you can. I always find that fascinating, that somewhere in this world right here, in the world that I'm in right now, if I had multiple wives, for example, because that probably would have happened, because that was a common thing, okay? That means there's possibly a whole line of family of mine living today after I had died. They just kept, having children and moving into, wherever they go to, and procreating. So that's a belief that I have. That's one of my belief systems, that's why I call everybody my brother, my sister. That's why it's like all my relations. I find it very powerful. And I find that, there's a possibility that the person I'm talking to could be a relative of mine. I mean, literally a relative, like somebody who, I was like their ancestor. And I think it would be a cool movie. I think it would be a freaking banana wild crazy movie to create something like that, where, everybody, is just like, everybody's related to everybody, which is true. We are all related. We all come from a certain place. But I find that very interesting. I don't hear many people talk about that. They always talk about, what they were, what they saw, what they felt, and how they have connections with people. But I'm always curious about, it's kind of like when they did for those of you who, the Gnostic, readings and the parts of the Bible, they talk about Jesus, and he had a family, and that family line is still existing today for someone. I have friends who are part of that lineage who believe that they are the descendants of Jesus Christ. That's why I find that pretty fascinating. Now, if I'm reincarnated, if you're reincarnated, that means that we have a line kind of similar. And would we still be that part of that line? Even though we're in a different body, a whole different line of people, how did we pop over? How did we jump into this body? There's a lot of theories about that. There's a lot of things that people bring up. I'll sip my tea here real quick. I find that kind of interesting. And, belief systems are as powerful as you want to make them. And for me, that's one of those things, because I've had, these dreams of being part of other people's families. Like, I've had very elusive dreams about being in a coma and had this whole other family just tending to me and taking care of me. And this went on for like a good, I don't know, it was probably a good 8 to 10 years. Okay. And this is, it just ended about almost, 3-4 years ago. It stopped, because they actually, in that particular belief, in that realm of that dream state, which is also a reality, sometimes we don't know if this is real or that's real, but in that realm, I was someone's father. I was somebody's, someone's connection. And they would talk to me, and I could see them talking to a version of what I would look like. I don't remember exactly what I looked like. I just remember being in the bed. I remember them reading to me, talking to me, and it came to one point where they had to let me go. Okay, they kept me for so long, and they pulled the plugs of sorts. They disconnected me from a ventilator. I didn't die. They disconnected me from, the food, and that, I think, is what did me in. Not taking any nuts, but it was so real. It was so, and they all said goodbye to me. And there was quite a few people, and I remember people crying, and I remember people, just talking to me like if I could hear them. I could hear them. And and I kid you not, it was real. Sometimes at night I would go and I want to lay down and just have that dream, because I knew these people. I've created this family with these people. And then I never had that dream ever again. I've never, when they cut me loose, when they let go of me in that dream state or in that world or that other existence, that ended. I have visions and memories of that existence, of what happened to me. And I finally, it ended. It finally ended for me. Now that belief, some could say it was just a piece and part of me, working through the struggles of my life. Another part of me could say, hey, that was real. I have to report to me personally, in my head, in my mind, that was real, because it was so vivid. It was so clear, like as if I was talking to you right now, and sitting here like I am right now. That's how it was, and it was so profound. And I've written a journal about that for many years, about what was going on. And I tell you, maybe it was a past life thing. I don't know. Maybe it was something that happened to me and I just remembered. But it came back in a dream. And, those people were real. And those people loved me. And then I woke up and I was in tears. I'll never forget this. This will always be in my mind. But I woke up and there I was. I was back. And then, it was almost like a sense of relief. It was a sense of, it was completion there. And then I didn't have to go back there anymore. Even if I was holding space for somebody temporarily, but it ended. But then I'm here in this world, and and I live a whole different existence. Here I do podcasts. I have, my holistic practice. I drum. I do my drummings. I do my 1 minute changes, Iggy, the mind of Iggy, my Nachito Panda and Farmer Finger, and all these different things, all these different characters that I have. So I have all this whole other life here, this whole other thing that I do here, and but it's based on what I believe in, the things that I believe in. But it's very magical. It was very magical. So think about your belief systems. Think about when you have your belief systems, do you share them? Do you just keep it to yourself? Some people aren't big about, and necessarily sharing. Some people don't like to be shared too. They don't like people projecting onto them belief systems you have. Oh no, it's this way, it's that way, blah blah blah. No, Jesus, no, Allah, whatever, or Buddha, There are people like that, and you're going to find those people. That's normal. It's going to happen. I can't tell you which one's right or wrong. I can only tell you what's right for you. But I know one thing: question everything. I don't care what it is. Question everything. And I'm not saying question in a way of being, narcissistic or rude or jerk about it. Just ask questions. Ask legitimate questions, until, you feel. There's people who I know who are Christians who still question. That's good. You should question. You should ask, because everything's it's about interpretation. We have to. It's supposedly the word of a reincarnated deity, someone who came back, resurrected deity, and but some people take it very to heart, and they have the right to, and they have every right to feel it. I think what happens is sometimes we may take it too far. We take it too extreme, and that happens, and that's normal. But our belief systems are the things that, help us get through. Now, we have magical people in this world. We have all kinds of healers in this world. We have all kinds of things. Some of you read some of the people, Louise Hay, Dwayne Dwyer. They're all dead now. but they all made an impact in life. They all came with their belief systems about the world. They came and they shared. They came and they gave. Even Albert Einstein had his belief systems about, science and how the universe works. And for some people, science is their belief, and they believe nothing but that. Science still can't explain why the universe is still expanding. I can. But anyhow, science has a, hard time. The universe should be contracting, coming back, but it's not. It keeps growing. And it will keep growing. We're not limited to these bodies. Our bodies are just, a housing, as a temple that we have to take care of while we're here. And when this body no longer can serve us, we're here to prepare for the next incarnation, the next existence, because energy can't be destroyed. And science has proven that we are energy inside of us. 21 ounces, I think that's what they say, disappears out of our body when we die. Is that how heavy or is it 21 grams? I forget. I think it's 21 grams. But anyhow, we weigh less when we die. It's kind of crazy, for a short time until we bloat and get big and whatever. But yeah, but we inside of us is a mechanism that we cannot necessarily see, but it moves us and it works us and it puts us in the direction that we need to go. And I find it very fascinating that our spirit and our soul and how it all works together, how all that is, manifesting and simultaneously working. Could you imagine if you had to think about every little thing about your body, inside your body, right here, everything, every little blood cell, everything that moves, every little hair that's growing, your body's telling it to grow, every, fluid that moves through your system, every gas that's through, you have more bacteria in your body than you have cells. When I heard that, I couldn't believe that. That's how powerful of a world we are. We're a very powerful being, to house such amazing things in ourselves, just in our core, in our system. We have white blood cells, red blood cells. We have all these things that move through us, all these things that are inside of us. It's just, there's a whole temple, there's a whole world in us. You're a whole world. So when you think you're insignificant and you think you're not enough, think about all the things that depend on you to survive. Not just the people externally outside of you. Your body, it is dependent on how you take care of it and how you love it. And, for some of us, we do a good job, and for some of us, we don't. But we at least attempt to do better. But it's fascinating. It's interesting. It's really interesting to know that you are a world. You are a planet. You are an existence. You have a core that's hot, and you stay warm. If you drop between too high or too low, things happen to you. It's kind of like the earth. If it gets too hot, things happen. If it gets too cold, things happen. She's alive. She's a living being. She's a living part of us. We're part of her. No matter what belief we come from, no matter what we believe, we're all from this dirt. Unless you're an alien from outer space, came from some other planet. Some of you may tell me that you are. I'm looking. Nobody said anything. Okay. Shh. Anyhow, but we're from this earth. Most of us are from this earth. And, the atmosphere that we have around us, that force field, that shield, protects us. So we don't really disappear. We don't go away. Water gets recycled, the air gets recycled. All that stuff just moves through this ball and, it gets brought back. The water you're drinking, this tea that I'm drinking, that water's probably been filtered and brought and came from God knows where, and it's probably some dinosaur urine in here, but we'll put a little bit of tea bag in it and make it taste better and a little honey. That works. But anyhow, it could be anything. Water that's been trapped in rocks forever. But, the thing about beliefs is, they're yours. They're unique as you are, as a snowflake that falls. Everybody says, we're just unique as the snowflake that falls from the sky. Yeah, we're all unique as a snowflake that falls from the sky, but we're still a snowflake, and we still impact how we touch the earth and what we do and where we go. We're just like that drop in the ocean. We contribute to the ocean, even though we're a drop, but we're part of the ocean at the same time. We're part of that that grand scheme of creating and moving and manifesting that consciousness. The water holds consciousness. This whole planet holds consciousness. We can create the weather. We can create, what happens, we can create snow. We can create a sunny day. We can create a rainy day. If the trees can do it, we can do it. The trees manifest. Cornfields manifest. Okay? You ever been up to a cornfield? They manifest the change in weather. People don't know that. Do research. Check it out. But trees also manifest and create, and they move the atmosphere. They change things. They have gift. They have magic. A lot of people are concerned because of the forest fires and everything that happened in California. Yeah, terrible for humans. But some plants and some trees, conifer trees, they require their pods, which are their, what is it? I can't think, but their seed is inside that cone, and that needs fire to release it and to germinate that cone. That's when lightning storms hit, out in the woods, out in the forests. That's part of nature. We accelerated it, yeah, by burning everything down. Not cool, but it happens. But that's not the natural selection of stuff too. Man also thinks he's better and smarter than life and better than mother, and then he screws it up. But she calibrates it. She fixes it. She'll put it back in order for herself, not for you necessarily. Okay, so her belief is she'll take care of herself before she takes care of you. She'll give you the things you need. She has everything on the planet that you need. But Mother Earth will always calibrate herself to her needs first. We have to adapt to Mother Earth, regardless. It doesn't matter. I don't care what happens. She'll take and she'll create a whole new thing. We screw it up, and she'll take it and she'll take that clay and she'll form it and she'll move it, and she'll create in her belief system what needs to come from that. And that may mean that we don't exist anymore. Maybe giant squids will now rule the world. But either way, it's about our survival, our belief of being surviving. That's what we strive to do. That's where we try to move to. I don't worry about the earth as much as I worry about my brothers and sisters on the earth and how they're affected, and impacted by what happens on the earth because of what we do to the earth. There's a huge difference. We talk about global warming, global cooling. Those are realities. And those are beliefs for some people. And those beliefs are, inherent beliefs for some people. They'll fight to the death for it. I've seen people lock themselves up in trees. I've met people who've done that. And they believe wholeheartedly if they don't do it, no one will. And that's probably true. But what I do know this is the earth will always, 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 because it's part of shamanism, the earth will always, always, always recoup itself. When the huge asteroid hit the earth and wiped out the dinosaurs, for a long time there was soot and all kinds of stuff and, nuclear explosion of sorts, when it hit the earth, it wiped everything out. But Mother Earth found a way to recalibrate that. When the Ice Age came, and it lasted forever, and, there was 2 miles of ice compacting on, onto the ground and creating glaciers and stuff. You're 2 miles, think about that. That's pretty high of ice up, okay, in Ohio, where I live, where I'm from, pushing down. That makes changes, but that's Earth. And, I'm here to tell you that will come back. That's the cycles of this planet. She does that when things get out of balance. She knows how to rebalance and recalibrate herself, and she will do it. Even if we're in the way, we'll have to either go underground, adjust, learn, or figure out a way to live and survive with her. And that's my belief about Mother Earth, that she has her own consciousness, that she knows what's best for her. We pollute her, we rip her, we strip her. But you know what? We're doing that to ourselves when we take advantage of her, when we don't use her properly. Because you know what? She will take revenge. And revenge is strong winds, earthquakes, floods, the things that she does. If you don't think she's alive, those of you, who, especially some politicians, don't believe that the earth is alive, they have something coming for them. because she doesn't discriminate. She does not discriminate. She will never discriminate. She will wipe you out. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, how much money you got in your pocket. It don't matter. She will wipe you clean. And, historically, we've seen it. And we'll see it again and again and again and again. And the same way with your beliefs. No matter what you believe, things change. You hold on to things you believe, but at some point you have to let go of them too. And move into a space where you're doing better. Now, do you guys have any questions for me about, the belief systems or stuff? Because I'm willing to share. And I'll pop in there real quick while you're looking. I'm going to pull some cards out. I'm going to pull out 3 cards here, okay, for us tonight. Well, we have a little bit of time left on the clock. And these are my Power Animal Oracle cards. And I love these cards. My other cards I like are my Native American Oracle cards too. My friend Adriana got me. And I'm going to pull out 3. And we'll see when I go. See if we get something different. Always seem to draw the same cards for some reason. And I shuffle them really good. Okay, there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. And we'll see where we're going to go. I'm going to see what's going on. What is going on? Okay. The first card I pulled is the Raven. It's about magic, own your own power. Okay? For those of you who are watching here, the Raven. Raven's a mimicking bird. It mimics, it talks. It's one of the first birds. And, it's just a reminder, okay, to just be ourselves, that we are magical, that we have the gift, we have power, we have the things to share with the world, and we can do whatever we want when we are in the right frame of mind. It's not to our advantage to hurt other people, because we'll feel the cause and effect of that. That will come back and bite us in the butt. The other one is the otter. Okay, see the otter? The otter is about surrendering and letting go of control. The otter is here to remind you to play. Have fun. Be playful. Get in the water and swim. Enjoy and have a good time. Get wet from time to time. Just play. Otter is a good card because, if you know anything about the otter, when it's swimming, it can do a lot of acrobatic, all kinds of stuff in the water. Outside the water, it's a little bit clumsy. It's not as fast. It's not as elusive as it would be in the water. So this is about playing, okay? And the Raven's about being in your magic. And then the last card is the Wolf. Okay, the Wolf is the guardian. You are safe and protected at all times. Higher self. We can create barriers for ourselves. We can pray. We can make incantations for protection. Keep negative energy or whatever, negative people away from us. But the wolf's a guardian, and the wolf is a protector. And the wolf is actually one of those amazing creatures. And some of you probably have read stories about where wolves were extinct in certain areas. They took the wolves out, and then the whole population, the whole area got screwed up. The ecology got screwed up. But then they put the wolves back. And then the wolves went back there, and they actually, they through the help of Mother Nature, they recalibrated the area, brought back grass, brought back the foliage, brought back things. Because what happened is, now they're the predators, and the predators, what would happen is the animals would eat all the vegetation. They would eat things, and they didn't have any control. There was no checks and balances from nature. That's why Mother Nature creates things and does things. So those are your animals for today. Your wolf, your raven, and your otter card. And those are pretty powerful cards. If you guys want a personal reading from me, just reach me at iggygarcia.com. You can set up an appointment with me there. And you can see all the services that I do. And Drum Circle here at the Reiki Center, 7 p.m. Saturday. So join us there. We'll be there for those of you who want to go to the Drum Circle. And I'm just out about time, guys. And I want to thank you for tuning in and being here. Always grateful. Always a great time. I hope you enjoyed my show. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And I'll be back on more regularly. And if you have any questions that you want to, talk about in the future, let me know. Irisikwi means gratitude in Quechua. Okay, ho'oponopono. Okay, much love, peace and love to you all. I love you guys. Thank you very much, Juanita. Thank you for always tuning in. You're like always there, and I appreciate that. And Sharon, thanks for tuning in. And you guys have a good evening. Be well.